Boxing Truth here. I had to talk a little bit about Vasyl Lomachenko. Not everybody was exactly impressed with his recent performance over Miguel Marriaga. Another stoppage win for Lomachenko, making the guy quit. Totally outclassed him, embarrassed him. And Lomachenko has really come a long way since his first couple of pro fights. He's really grown. He's seasoned now. He's a better fighter. He's more aggressive. He's found his identity in the ring. And he's becoming a fighter that's making people say no mas. I mean, who's going to last 12 against Lomachenko in the near future? Because see Salido quitting in a rematch if he ever takes it. But not everybody was exactly impressed. And I can see why. He fought an overmatched opponent. Marriaga's a good pro, but was completely outmatched, moving up in weight. But it was impressive to me, Lomachenko's performance, because Marriaga's never been treated like that. Not even in his two losses against two world-class fighters, and Oscar Valdez and Nicholas Walters. I mean, those guys had life and death struggles with this guy. Walters got rocked against Marriaga, but it just shows you that Lomachenko is even levels above Valdez and Walters. And you saw it immediately in the first round, the skill level, the gap was just too goddamn big. And Marriaga just simply had no chance. He was backing up because Lomachenko was constantly in position to counter him. So he handcuffed Marriaga. He couldn't hit him without getting tagged in return. That's why he was so timid, because he never fought a fighter with the type of pressure and defensive skills and offensive skills that Lomachenko possesses. You could just see the skill level was just too damn big. And it was another one-sided showcase fight for Lomachenko, as expected. Some people were turned off because of Lomachenko's showboating, his antics in the ring, playing around, even letting Marriaga hit him a couple of times, being lazy because he was in there with someone that had nothing for him. So he gets a little complacent, gets a little bored, and tries to please the crowd. But not everybody's going to like the antics, especially because he's fighting a guy that's so overmatched. I can say myself, I didn't really like some of the antics Lomachenko displayed in the ring, tapping him on the head, all that shit, because he's fighting an overmatched guy. If he was doing that against like a better fighter, a guy that's on the pound for pound list or a champion, then yeah, Lomachenko could really brag and really get props for that. But against these type of opponents, where he's just so much better than them, he's not going to get much credit. So I can understand why people were turned off by his showboating. I didn't like it too much either, because he was just so much better than Marriaga. But Lomachenko, he needs better opponents for his future fights. We need more challenges, because people are going to get bored of watching him just play around the ring and dominate and showboat and making guys quit against these type of opponents, which are good pros, but not the caliber of fighters Lomachenko should be fighting at this stage. Marriaga came cheap, which is why the fight was so easily made. Rigondeaux is going to request a much larger purse, which makes it a little more problematic. But that fight should definitely be next. I wouldn't mind Lomachenko just putting a dagger in the hearts of all the Rigondeaux fanboys. I mean, they're asking for it. They're begging for the fight. And you fucking guys just might get it. It might be next. Bob Arum's already in discussions with Rock Nation. It will depend if Rigondeaux can be reasonable with his purse, if the fight's going to happen. But it could definitely happen this year in December. If Rigondeaux was willing to take the challenge, talking all this shit, but continues to use money as an excuse for not taking the fight. Let me tell you right now, Lomachenko's going to embarrass your boy. Rigondeaux is just too old, too small. Doesn't throw enough punches to get it done. He's going to have to land a home run shot, a huge counter punch. Maybe he's capable of that. But at this stage, it's just not going to happen. Lomachenko is getting better with every fight. He's really grown to a seasoned professional. You got to be impressed with Lomachenko. I mean, he's doing things that's not really being done in boxing. 10 fights, 2 world titles, has fought world-class fighters, hasn't fought the elite guy out there yet. He hasn't had a rival just yet. No one really believes Salido will win a rematch anyways. But the fight is still makeable. It's still a fight that would be somewhat attractive. It's a fight that would make sense in the Los Angeles area. So the fight still makes sense for it to happen. But Loma does need better opponents for his next fight. And Bob Arum is willing to make that happen. Willing to make the Rigondeaux fight. I don't see any fear from Top Rank of matching Lomachenko with anybody. It's just some fights need time to build. Some fights need time to marinate. The Mikey Garcia is one of those fights. But Loma, he's one of the best fighters in the world today. There's no doubt about it. You really can't hate on the guy. I mean, he fights. He's fought solid professionals, 2 world titles. He's barely lost a round ever since the Salido fight. He's making guys quit. The only thing that's lacking for Lomachenko is he doesn't have that bone-crushing punching power. He doesn't have any one-punch knockout power, but he can break you down and he can make you say no mas. So he's definitely a force to be reckoned with. And the thing is, I really don't have no interest in watching Lomachenko unify against the other champions. I could care less about the Corrales fight right now. Corrales had a bad performance against Castellanos, where he got dropped a couple times. Don't really care to see him fight Burchik. The fight that I would like to see is Gervonta Davis, but that fight's not going to happen. It's too difficult to make. 2 different networks, and Mayweather doesn't want to make the fight right now. So the best option on the table for later this year, if Lomachenko doesn't move up in weight and continue to campaign at lightweight and win another world title, is a Rigondeaux fight. That's the fight that I'll be most interested in at the current moment. I don't really care to see Lomachenko fight Burchik. Don't really care to see him fight Corrales. The Davis fight's not going to happen. So the Salido fight will be a good replacement fight if Rigondeaux is not willing to take the fight for the money that he's offered. But Lomachenko should do that next, man. Put an end to this saga. Put a dagger into the hearts of every Rigondeaux fanboy and leave them wishing that they never wished for this fight. This is Boxing Truth. I'm out.